Now I'm going to take a quick look at how to edit our PowerPoints. So what's the difference between a PowerPoint and a training manual? So the editable training manuals is the actual thing that you would give a student to take away with them, and they can use as a resource after the training, and you can also use that to teach from. A PowerPoint is more a teacher's resource rather than a student's, and this is something that you can use to display in your training academy to teach to larger class sizes, especially for students who maybe like to read as they go along, and they can follow the slide a little bit more easily than maybe following what you're trying to discuss within a manual. You can also use these to teach online theory as well. So if you feel that there's quite a lot of theory in this, for particularly if you look at the bottom corner here, there's nearly 152 slides just on this manual, particularly alone on this PowerPoint. That's quite a lot to cover in any classroom. And what I've found now, especially with COVID-19, the things that it's actually allowed us to do is completely reevaluate the way that we're doing things. So okay, the way we were doing things, guys, before probably wasn't broken, but we've now managed to find a way that will allow us to spend more time with the student doing practical than spending all that time doing the actual theory. And so by delivering the theory online, the student can learn that in their own time. They can take as much information on that. They can go and do some research. They can make notes. They can go back and re-watch over the videos as well. And then in the classroom, you can recap over the most important areas. And that student then walks away with all of the knowledge, which is really, really important. And obviously in the time where training has started to lose its reputation and people are cutting corners, it's now the time to start investing back into the time and making sure our students are walking away with as much knowledge as possible. So even though this looks like, oh my god, 152 slides, we can actually cut that down into smaller versions. We can also cut this PowerPoint down into smaller slides, so we can cut it down into the health and safety, anatomy and physiology, and the treatment itself. And all you would literally do is delete any of the slides that you don't want, and then just click save as and save it as the PowerPoint that you want it to be saved as. In terms of editing the PowerPoint, we can do this again to match our manuals, and we can make this look very unique to us, and we can make it more of our branded colours and have our logo and everything in there as well. To add a logo, you literally are just going to click insert, then we're going to click let me do it from PowerPoint. Let's click picture from file and add in your image. You can see here that image is a bit too big, but PowerPoint has this really great feature that it literally starts to look for an alternative design that will suit you and suit the appearance of your PowerPoint, and you can literally just choose any of these and leave it as it is, and then you can go through every slide and create a unique slide for that particular image. So you could literally add in this one here. We can go to health and safety now. We can add in here with its all little bullet points. We can go to this section here and this slide, and we can look at making this a little bit more unique, so we can add in boxes, so it makes it a lot more visual, it makes it a lot more cleaner for your students, and it's more interesting than just a black and white boring PowerPoint. As you can see, that's quite boring. You can also remove a lot of the words as well. So if, for example, there's too much writing in there, you could literally just bullet point the particular areas that you want to cover, so you can then make it a little bit less wordy for the students. But if you're doing a voiceover, I find it's really handy to have those words there, because I find that actually people like to read along as you talk, because sometimes it sinks in a little bit better for them from there as well. You will need to download this in Microsoft PowerPoint. You can also download it into Google, but it won't convert very well into your MacBook a slideshow. I forget what it's called. I don't use it. I don't use anything to do with Mac programs, although I have MacBooks. I do like to work within the Word documents, because I find they're a lot more universal for people. So in terms of your branding, like I say, we can add in our logo in there, and we can then obviously add in some branding and some branding colours. So if I add the logo back in, because I just removed that from there, so I can just change this, make it a little bit smaller because it's a little bit too big there, and I can put my academy name in here, or you could just remove that. If you just delete out the words, It may just say there, click to add subtitle, but it won't actually show up when you export the file or when you're doing a slideshow. So if I click slideshow here and play from start, you see that that doesn't actually show up on there. So you can just literally flick through the slides as you're teaching. Okay. So back to the themes and to the design. So if you want to create a design that's unique to you, you literally just click on design on your tabs at the top, and you can use any of these presets, and you can also browse for more themes from the Microsoft Office website. So these themes, they're quite usable, to be fair. It really just depends on what kind of look that you're trying to achieve, and also what kind of colour scheme you have for your academy. So any of these are suitable, you can click on them and it opens up even more options on the sidebar here, and you can click down and you can see all the different options there. Let's go for this one, for example. If you've got a bit of a bright, groovy academy, you can literally click groovy little designs, or you can look for more professional designs, whatever is suitable for yourself. If this is your colour scheme, then that's great, you can change it to this colour scheme, or you can click on colours at the bottom and change it to any of these colour schemes that you prefer. So there's lots of options for you to edit and change these. If you don't like the look of this page here, but you like the idea of the overall theme, if you click on here, design ideas, then it will open up on the right hand side a whole load of different ideas for you to open up and go, actually, I love this, or have a look through and see if there's anything else that you prefer. And it gives you that unique branding that doesn't look like it's an off-the-shelf PowerPoint, and people will identify it as yours because it's got your brand colours, it's got your brand logo designed in there. As you've noticed, it's automatically changed all of my slides for me, which is fantastic. So I don't actually need to go in and edit all 152 slides, but you might want to mix it up a little bit and give them a more unique look. So again, the subtitle page, we can change that a little bit. We can go into the next section here, and we've got the option here of maybe having individual boxes. See what works. Some of them looks a little bit too squished. I probably wouldn't go for something like that because you can't read the writing in there. But you can see that there's loads of different options. You can literally add this page in here that breaks it all down, and these little images here, we can double click on them and it will open up and allow you to change these as well. So if you can see there, we've got a load of stock images that we can change to make it more suitable for what we're looking for. So again, really, really easy. Have a look through, have a play about, get the branding all unique and sort of in coherence to what you need and in coherence to your training manual. So make sure the colours match, make sure your logos are in there, and it then will look like your whole training resources was written by you and obviously wasn't purchased. And that will allow your students as well to identify your course material if they come across it or they're looking for it for going back and doing some revision. To create this as a slideshow, when I go to attach this to a TV, then I would literally just click slideshow here and then click play from start. So you'll play it from the start and it will come up as so, and then you can just use your left and right buttons to move through the slides. If you want to create a video with your slides, this is where it becomes a little bit harder. You can do that within the PowerPoint app, but I actually don't like it. I think it's not great. You can see here it says record slideshow, and you can also do a voiceover as well. But when I've done this myself, I've not particularly found it to be as good as creating it inside my iMovie app on my MacBook. So if you can, try to do it separately, and you would need to save every single image in your slides as a PNG image, and then upload those to iMovie and then do your voiceover as if you was teaching. So it is actually quite straightforward. I cover how to do this on my Delivering Online Training courses course, which you can obviously download, log in and watch that and learn how to create online videos for your students. This is just a brief overview of how to create your PowerPoints. So as I say, anything that you don't think is relevant, you can literally delete and remove. To save it, make sure you keep 2 copies of this, so keep your original and keep yours, and make sure that you've always got a backup in case they ever get lost, and make sure you back it up to a hard drive and to a cloud as well. Click save as, save it as the item that you want to save it as, and that's it, it's done. You're ready to go for your teaching course. Hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, please feel free to get in touch.